I have my good friend and colleague Lou Rodriguez here with some simple tips about rehabilitating your credit now that you've settled your debts without bankruptcy. Lou?
Thanks, Harvey. Soon after the last settlement has been paid, your drop debt clients are going to want to start working on restoring their good credit and good name. And one of the ways they do this is performing a credit audit and verification. It's very necessary because if they want to save money on interest, insurance, or security deposits moving forward, they have to perform this process. Now, it's going to take some time to get their credit score back to where it was before they settled their debt. So starting sooner rather than later is much better for your clients, Harvey.
Where do you start?
Well, they want to start by checking their credit report. That's the first thing. They need to make sure that the details of their settlements are reported correctly. And again, like I said before, this process is called a credit audit and verification. Now, for each settled account, the balance due should be zero since it was settled, and the payment status should say paid or settled or something to that effect. They can check on the credit report by visiting annualcreditreport.com.
Yeah, I remember at the beginning we talked about the inaccuracies that are on these credit reports in terms of finding out exactly what you owe. Now that the debts have been settled, is that important again?
Absolutely. They cannot let errors, inaccuracies, or incomplete information go uncorrected. Now, it's very important. They must dispute those errors with the credit bureau, and it helps if you have a zero balance letter showing that your account has been settled in full. Otherwise, Harvey, you can send also a copy of your settlement offer and proof of payment along with their dispute. Additionally, they can contact the creditor to make sure that everything was processed correctly when they settled that debt.
Right. We talked about them getting the settlement letters and keeping the canceled checks together with those settlement reports, because that's very important, because those issues may come up again. There's a lot of talk about prepaid and secured cards. I'm not really sure that everybody understands the difference between those two things. And what do you recommend?
Well, that's part of building the credit. They need new credit to help rebuild their credit score. Now, to improve the credit score, they're likely going to need to have a history of making timely payments. Again, getting a new credit card or loan could help them accomplish this. It's especially important if you don't have any other open accounts on your credit report. If you can't get approved after they settled their debt for a traditional credit card, they should apply for a secured credit card, Harvey, not a prepaid credit card. The difference with that is that a secured credit card, if you have a $300 credit card balance and you put that into a savings account, they're going to report that credit card just like a traditional credit card. So if you have a $300 limit and you're making payments on it, they're going to report that to the credit bureau. A prepaid card is not. It's not going to actively report, and so therefore you won't be building any credit with that.
Right. It's got to be reporting to the bureaus in a positive way in order for you to rebuild your credit.
Absolutely.
That's really interesting. You talked a little bit about missing payments, and in this particular moment, as people are building their credit, could you kind of underline what the problem is with missing payments?
Well, of course, you have to change the spending habits that led you into debt in the first place, right?
Right.
The last thing you probably want to happen is to work on this credit audit and restoration process to restore your good credit and good name, and then go into debt again. Fact is that credit and debt, and I'm sure you agree with this, Harvey, that credit and debt management are inextricably linked. Think about what you did to get into debt the first time, and then figure out how to change those habits. And the only way to do this, just like you say in your book, Harvey, is to create a budget.
One of the things that Robert Kiyosaki and the folks at Rich Dad talk about is that a budget really is more correctly identified as a spending plan, and people feel more comfortable looking at it from that point of view. And I very strongly recommend the budget that you made at the beginning is the cure budget. Now you want to do the budget for the future, which is to keep yourself on track and keep your credit building. I have one last question. What about running up credit card balances? What about that?
Oh, no. If you're getting a secured credit card or you're getting a traditional credit card, don't run up your credit card balances again. Remember what I said. Payment history is a big part of your credit score, and so is the amount of debt that you have. When your balances get close to the credit limit, your credit will suffer and you'll experience a setback in the credit restoration process. So your clients should aim to keep their credit card balances below, Harvey. I say 30% of the credit limit, but it's even better if you can keep it under that, say 10%. And the thing is that this takes discipline, and that's where the spending plan comes in. You know what's coming in, you know what's going out. So You got to give your credit some time to recover. It's a process. It's not a wave of a magic wand. And it's easier to wreck a good credit score than it is to rebuild a bad one. It's a process. So they got to continue making wise choices when it comes to their credit, and then they'll see that there's going to be a lot of improvement.
I don't think that you can get better, safer, sounder advice on rebuilding your credit, making a good spending plan, and getting on the road to better credit. This is critical information. If people tell you, like Lou said, they can wave a magic wand and improve your credit score, they cannot. The only way to do it is in a disciplined program of taking care of business and paying your bills on time and using credit responsibly. I'm Harvey Z. Warren.
And I'm Lou Rodriguez.
And this is Drop Debt.